So I've just realised I've arrived at a Cuppa with Katie show without a cuppa. I haven't got a cup of tea in my hands. I don't know if I can actually talk to you without holding a cup of tea in my hands. It's like my little safety blanket. I just jumped on because I was excited. I didn't think about making a cup of tea first. I have just finished a masterclass with the wonderful James Priest. So James Priest is a celebrity dating coach, and he came in to run an expert masterclass inside my Daring and Mighty Love group. Hey Ilanette, good to see you, darling. Yeah, so he just came in and ran a masterclass with my Daring and Mighty Love group. So you probably, if you've been following me, you know I've got several groups. I've got my Evolution membership group running at the moment. Hi Kellyanne. And my other group that's running at the moment is Daring and Mighty Love. So that's a very small group of women who are looking for their soulmate. It's super high level coaching intensives and group work and so on. And I'm bringing experts in to support the work. And so James Priest just did a masterclass with us on, he basically was critiquing the girls, women's, I always say girls. He was critiquing the girls' dating profiles, so on their dating apps and platforms and so on. And it was very honest and down to earth and vulnerable and revealing. And it was a really fantastic masterclass. And he, at the end, after critiquing everybody's profiles, he answered a bunch of questions on dating and so on. And it was really fantastic. And a big piece that came out of the masterclass, which interestingly tied in with a theme with a private client that I was working with yesterday, was this piece about the importance of, like, when you're writing a dating profile, and by the way, whether you're single or not, this is relevant, so please don't leave because if you think, oh, I'm not single, so this isn't going to be relevant to me, please stay tuned because there's a message here for everybody. So thank you, Ilanette. So what was I saying? Yes, so he was sharing with them about their dating profiles, and one of the pieces that he was saying is really important to include in your profile was what are you bringing to the picture? Like, what is it that you have to offer this amazing guy that is, you know, is going to want to take you out on a date? And that's quite a vulnerable piece, right? Because to be able to fairly unapologetically and confidently say in a public place, these are my fantastic qualities, this is what I think is wonderful about me, and this is what I have to offer, it really does take some vulnerability, doesn't it? But before we even get to being vulnerable about being able to do that, we need to know what that is. And so many of us just aren't connected to our own value, to our own worth, and we aren't in a full acknowledgement of what it is that we are bringing to the picture, and whatever that picture is. So it could be a dating profile, but what about if you're going for a job? Like, what are you bringing to the business that you want to work with? What are you bringing to your own business? What are you bringing to your clients? What are you bringing to your children? What are you bringing into your existing relationship? What are you bringing to your friendships? What are you bringing out into the world? Are you connected with your value? Because I think what we can be, it seems to be more easy to connect, and more of the focus to connect on what we want to receive. So for example, if you're dating, you are probably quite connected to the kind of guy that you want to call in. Actually, what I see more of in women is they're more connected to what they don't want. Right? So it's like, I don't want to date that guy. I don't want a repeat of that experience. I don't want to go down that path again. So we're more, you know, we're actually very familiar with what we don't want rather than what we do want, which is kind of the first tweak when it comes to calling in anything. We need to have clarity on what it is we do want, not what we don't want. Because when we're connected to what we don't want, that's where our energy is focused. So that's what we're going to keep attracting and creating and calling in. But when it comes to dating, you know, like, you probably, when you've moved from I know what I don't want into I know what I do want, then it's like, okay, great. And what about what you're going to contribute to that relationship? What are you bringing to that? It's like, so here's the thing. Whatever it is, say hello, please, as you're arriving as well. And don't forget that if you're not single, it's okay for you to be here and listen to this, because the message isn't just for single women. Whatever it is you want to call in. So here, there has to be a giving and receiving energy, right? Whatever you desire to receive, the flow is that there has to be some giving as well. It's just the reciprocal arrangement. That's how energy flows and moves. We give and we receive. You know, it's like if I give you a compliment, my hope is that you'll receive the compliment and then say thank you to me. So I can receive your thanks. So I'm giving to you, and then I'm receiving your thanks. Yeah, so it doesn't matter what it is that you want to call in life, whether it's a man, or whether it's more money, or whether it's an up level in your career, or whatever it is that you want to call in. You might be clear about what it is that you want to receive, but you must remember that the reciprocal is that you're going to be giving as well. So there needs to be an energetic alignment with what it is you desire to receive. If you're not connected to what you're giving, if you're not connected to your own value and your own worth, then there's going to be a mismatch with what you're calling in. Does that make sense? That you really need to be connected with what that is. So dating is, you know, is a really perfect example of this. And I'm using it because I just finished the masterclass with celebrity dating coach James Priest in our Daring and Mighty Love group. And I'm repeating myself there because there's new people arriving on the call. But dating is the perfect example of that. Like if you know that you want to call in this really fantastic guy that's going to be loyal, that's going to be trustworthy, that's going to be financially secure and stable, he's going to be fun. What else could he be offering you that you desire? He's going to be adventurous. He's going to take care of you and respect you. He's going to be your safe harbor, your solid ground, your best friend. Like if you're connected with knowing that that's the kind of guy you'd like to receive, like he sounds of high value, right? He sounds of high worth. That's why you want to call in this next level empowered guy. He sounds amazing. If you don't believe that you are amazing, and if you're not confidently and unapologetically connected to who you are, what you value, what's unique and special about you, and what you have to give, how can you expect to receive that? Does that make sense? If you want to call in more money in your life, that increase in money is an increase. There's a higher value to that, right? If you want to call in a higher value, you need to be connected to your own value and your own worthiness of receiving that, because that's the flow. Does that make, yeah, Kellyanne's saying, yeah, so much sense. Yeah. So it's so important to know what you want. Of course it is. So much more important to know what you want than what you don't want. And then the next step is, well, what do you have to give so that you can take part in that giving and receiving dance? I think it's a really interesting piece to consider. I was working with a private client yesterday, and she happens to be single, and something that came through in our conversation was that she said, I don't know what I have to contribute to a relationship, which was a very vulnerable piece. It took us a while to get to that. And then we explored, well, what is it about you? What do you have to contribute? That sort of became the next step in our conversation. And what was very telling was that she felt that she didn't actually know or understand her place in the world. And so that took the conversation even deeper, all the way back to childhood, all the way back to her conditioning and programming, her position in her family, what was going on around her, the family dynamics with her siblings, the whole thing. And it was such that she never actually got to develop a strong sense of self. She was never told that she was worthy, that she was valuable, that she's meant to be here, that she's wanted, that she's unique and special. You know, that I'm proud of you. I think you're fantastic. I love you so much. She never had hugs. She never had stories read to her at night time. Her parents didn't play with her. There was always other things going on. There was distractions needing their attention, and she didn't receive it. And so here she is in her late 50s, desiring to call in love for the second time in her life. You know, she had a big love, and that's no longer, and she's calling in love again. And she doesn't know what she has to offer. She knows what she wants to receive. She knows how she wants to feel in that relationship. And I can see her worthiness of that, but she's not connected to her worth there. She's not connected to what she has to give in that giving and receiving dynamic. And so the work with her actually is taking us right back to when she's very, very small. And it's deep inner child work. And it's she's now being called to reparent her own little girl, her own inner child, so that she can begin to get to know who she is, and to really deeply in her bones know that she is worthy and lovable and loving and meant to be here and more than enough. And just her unique spiritual truth is so valuable, and is what she can offer to a relationship. The uniqueness and the beauty of who she is what she can bring to a relationship. I mean, really, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, right? Is that we're connected to our uniqueness and our own sense of worthiness and value. And that's what we bring to a relationship. That's what we bring to our clients. That's what we bring to business. That's what we bring to every relationship in our life, is that sense of self and self-worth and self-love. Then when, in the dating realm, what else do I bring? Well, I bring financial stability perhaps, or I bring my passion for my career, I bring my children, and I bring I bring a house, I bring a nice car, I bring whatever, that it kind of becomes material as well. But first and foremost, most fundamentally, what do you bring? What are you bringing to the scenario? What value are you adding? It's your own worth. It's your energy. It's the truth of who you are. Just you showing up in a room is valuable. Just you showing up in a room, people feel you. Yeah, before they even hear you or see you, they feel you. We are feeling creatures. We feel deeply. We feel each other. And if I can't feel myself, and if I'm not connected to that beautiful spiritual truth, it's going to be a mismatch to calling in all the wonderful abundance that I desire to call in my life. So that felt like an important message to share today. So I'm really grateful to James Priest, the celebrity dating coach, who came and did the masterclass with us today and in my Daring and Mighty Love group. It was so cool. We had such a fantastic sort of 90-minute conversation, and it really, yeah, it's interesting. I love how themes seem to run through my weeks, and themes seem to come through with my clients. And this week, the theme, in fact, it's not the only client this week. There's been a few private clients this week where this theme of what do you have to contribute has been really important. And so then it becomes well, who are you? What do you value? What is your relationship like with yourself? And what do we need to do to improve that and have you connected to your value and worth? It's very cool work. It's very powerful work. And I feel very humbled to be able to do it. So that's my little message for you today. Take from it what you will. I hope you have a beautiful weekend ahead to look forward to. And actually, before I go, I just want to let you know, and I haven't put it out on social media, and I've not emailed my list about this yet. I've not told my wider community yet, but on just a little heads up, on the 16th of December, so that's like a couple of weeks' time. Can you believe it's almost December? On the 16th of December at 12 noon, so midday UK time, London time zone, I'm going to be hosting a 90-minute masterclass called, it's a 2020 Reflections Workshop. So we're going to be reflecting on 2020 and what that's been about for you, your struggles, your successes, and so on. And it will be a beautiful body of work to then, in part 2 of the workshop, will be called, what am I calling it? I guess it's 2021 Vision Workshop, I suppose. That's probably what I'm calling it, the 2021 Vision Workshop. That's going to be in January. So this masterclass in December will be part 1 to feed information into our visioning workshop at the beginning of January, so that you can get really clear on your intentions and your goals and desires and dreams for January. There's a little caveat. The first workshop, reflecting on 2020, the year that's been and gone, is open to everybody. And then the visioning workshop going forward is actually included in my Evolution membership. So you'll actually need to be a member of Evolution membership to take part in the visioning workshop. But they are both being made available at the moment, and I will put it out there and send you links and so on to be able to join in. I think it's really important at this time of year to reflect and to begin visioning ahead. I think setting intentions is key. And maybe an intention you desire to set for the upcoming year is what we've just been speaking about, this piece around really connecting in with the truth of who you are and what you value about yourself and the worthiness that you're bringing into the world. It's very important work. Okay, I'm sending you loads of love. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Mwah. Bye.